In today's video, we're taking a deep dive into one of the darkest chapters in human history, the Middle Passage. This was the journey that millions of Africans were forced to endure as part of the transatlantic slave trade, a journey that many did not survive. Let's explore this harrowing tale of suffering, endurance, and the human spirit. From around 1525 to 1866, an estimated 12.5 million Africans were taken from their homeland and transported across the Atlantic in conditions that are unimaginable. Of these, approximately 2 million perished during the journey. By the 18th century, European merchants had built vessels specifically designed for this human cargo. These ships featured extra portholes for ventilation, mounted weapons for suppressing rebellions, and cramped compartments to carry as many enslaved people as possible. Before boarding the ships at African port cities, enslaved people were stripped of their clothing, possessions, and even their hair. The boarding process, which could take weeks or months, was the beginning of a nightmare. Enslaved people were forced to live on the deck in temporary wooden structures, surrounded by netting designed to prevent suicides. Below deck, the conditions were even more horrific. Men, women, and children were segregated and crammed into compartments with ceilings as low as 4.5 feet. The men were often shackled in pairs, while women and children had slightly more freedom of movement. The lack of sanitation facilities meant that people were forced to relieve themselves where they sat, leading to unbearable conditions compounded by heat and poor ventilation. Disease was rampant on these voyages. Dysentery, malaria, yellow fever, smallpox, measles, and influenza ravaged both the enslaved and the crew. The enslaved spent about 8 hours a day above deck, but were still separated by gender and confined behind barricades to protect the crew in case of a revolt. The enslaved were subjected to unimaginable cruelty, including forced exercise, beatings, and torture. Women, often left unshackled, were vulnerable to rape and sexual abuse by crew members. Despite these conditions, some enslaved women used their relative freedom to coordinate mutinies, though these rebellions were rarely successful. The true extent of the horrors of the Middle Passage was exposed in the 1783 court trial over the slave ship Zong. The ship left present-day Ghana with 442 enslaved people. But after a 2-month journey riddled with errors, disease, and dwindling supplies, the captain ordered 130 people thrown overboard. The trial, which focused on insurance claims rather than the human tragedy, highlighted the brutal realities of the slave trade. 24 years after the Zong trial, the international slave trade was outlawed in both Great Britain and the United States. However, it took many more years, and a civil war before the practice of slavery was officially abolished in these countries. The Middle Passage is a stark reminder of the inhumanity of the slave trade and the resilience of those who endured it. As we reflect on this painful part of history, we are reminded of the importance of remembering and learning from the past. Thank you for joining us on this journey through history. If this video moved you, please like, share, and subscribe for more historical insights.